Clearly the narrative is shifted. I mean, you just mentioned, some of the fangs are down on the year, and you even pull back the charts farther. I mean, look at Facebook. The stock's been dead money since early August, and really there's just been a really lack of incremental buying of some of these large cap growth names that have really powered the market higher over the past, 4 to 5 years. And I think of late, you highlighted the great rotation. I still think we're in the early innings, just really given the extreme discount of value stocks towards growth. Tech is a very rate-sensitive group of names. They benefited from the plunge in rates over the last kind of decade. And obviously, I think you're going to see some multiple compression as we do kind of see some upward pressure on rates, mainly driven by a subsiding pandemic, hopefully in 21.
All right, you're saying we're in the early innings. That's a baseball reference for our international viewers. But it looks like big media names like Facebook, Twitter, they're a little bit behind in the count here. They've definitely been throwing a few strikes. How do you trade those going ahead with some of the headwinds that they're facing, potential for regulation, the idea that maybe some people are just turned off by the idea of these companies having so much influence over our lives?
Yeah, exactly. And I think they're both going to be dead money in the near term. We've seen, a mix of kind of both, hedge fund clients, institutional guys trimming their exposure across, social media names. Clearly censorship's now becoming a bigger issue. We know what's going on in the U.S. and clearly something had to be done in the near term to kind of limit the violence that's been going on. But then, Germany's Merkel came out earlier in the week and is kind of questioning, who are these tech CEOs to kind of decide what should be deemed free speech and what needs to be kind of capped. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of backlash towards some of these policies that we're seeing. And for a name like Twitter, it's going to impact key metrics such as monetizable daily active users. And similar with Facebook as well. Daily active users is the holy grail for them. Right. And that's how the stock trades. And we've already been seeing a steady decline in North America from that point of view with Facebook. And I think this kind of just leads to another kind of, regulatory overhang, censorship debate. And I think there's just better pockets of the market right now than large cap tech. And one, group that I love, you mentioned Square. I think you still want to have exposure to Square, PayPal, disruptive tech, and then semiconductor space still probably the best group of stocks in tech to own in 21 if you want to sleep well at night.
Yeah, Joel, you're jumping ahead. I was going to ask you about that. I might quit Facebook, I might quit Twitter, but I'm not quitting my cell phone, my big screen TV.
Exactly.
So chip demand's going to stay up. What's your outlook on chip demand? And also give us your take on Intel ousting Bob Swan.
Yeah, Intel's up another 2% this morning, and I know that I saw at least one upgrade so far from a competitor of ours, and clearly Intel was trading at a massive discount to its peers, and rightfully so, right? It's been a train wreck to say the least, and everybody knew that Bob Swan was the wrong guy at the wrong time. He's a finance guy. Right after a time they had some missteps on the 10 nanometer side, they needed to bring a guy in with tech and an architecture background, and this is where Gelsinger makes sense. And time is only going to tell, though, if it's too little, too late. On the more advanced 7 nanometer side, they're already 2 years plus behind AMD. So I think the move we saw yesterday, you'll see again probably today. It's just a little bit of mean reversion between some of the other kind of growthy names in the space that have massively outperformed. But it's tough to get too excited on a name like Intel, just because how far they are behind some of the market leaders, as I said, NVIDIA, AMD. They're going to have to also rely on Taiwan Semi for foundry help as well to really kind of boost their performance and leading edge. So Intel's still a little bit of a wait-and-see story.
Before we let you go, I want to ask you just one quick question. Bullish or bearish on cybersecurity and software, and then we got to run.
Yeah, cybersecurity is still one of probably my number one pick for the year. I think with the SolarWinds attack that we really came to reveal itself in December, I think Biden can come in and he can really change the scope and scale of U.S. cybersecurity on a massive level. So I think within your portfolio, you want to have exposure to security. Awesome. You have names like Telos on the government side, SailPoint, Identity, and Tenable as a vulnerability management play.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.